Welcome back everyone, it's Angela. How are you guys doing today? Here with another quick little project for you, so I hope you're going to join me and follow along in making this. It's really a quick one. A little bit again on the recycling route, so couldn't help myself. So what I've got for you today is I'm going to change our mailers. These ones have a window, they don't have to have a window again, and I'm going to make it into these coin envelopes, which are great for journals, and I love how quick this was to do and also how pretty it turns out. So of course mailers come in all different sizes, so don't be afraid to take any one of them. The principles are the same, but this is going to make a great inclusion in your journal. So I have got a little page here, so this is how I would include it in my journal. Can you see that there? All right, so I've just stenciled up on the two corners. I would glue that onto the side here, so let's just do that quickly. Oh no, I don't need to do that. So I would glue that down on those three sides there, so that would be glued down onto my page just like that, probably a little bit more over. And then what I would do is I would take another card like that, a nice journal card, and I would make sure that I'm able to put that into that space there, so you've got a hidden journal card. And the way that I would decorate this is just with a couple of my Tim Holtz die cuts that I like to use. Just chosen the three colors that I've seen in here, and I would just put those over, sort of going over a little bit onto the edge of the actual tea stain page that I've got, and then I just add a little butterfly like that over there. Okay, so that's how I would decorate it, use it in my journals. But of course you could do wider mailers and have mailers that go the other way. So for example, if you had a wider mailer like that, you could do the same thing and have the window that way, and use them that way with a flap like that. All right, so you remember you can trim down your envelopes to fit, so don't throw these away. I keep all of them, damaged or not. All right, so that's what we're going to have a look at today. I'll just put these to the side. So it's just a coin envelope, so nothing fancy there, but you open it up, and I've put a little tag into it over there, which is just on recycled card. All right, and just got one of my little sentiments over there. So this just fits in there and easily done. You can journal on the back of that card, so that would be amazing. And then just going to show you how I put that together. All right, so a quick little project for you. What you're going to need is a mail envelope, a mailer. I have just got one of these, and this is not the same size as the one I just used. In fact, it's slightly wider and slightly longer, but that doesn't matter. All right, so as long as you're happy with the ones that you've got, use what you have. This one does have a window envelope, but of course you don't have to have a window envelope at all. It'll still work. Okay, so the first thing I did was, and use your scissors for this if you're more comfortable, or your trimmer. I'm going to just, mine is open here from the way I opened it, but I do want to just cut along the top edge here as well. All right, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that here. Just trim that off. And as I said, you could use your paper trimmer to do that. So, and then I'm going to do the same with the bottom as well, because you can always glue it closed, or I will probably end up stitching mine, but gluing would work just as well. So just taking that off like that. I do find it easier to do this because it makes it a lot easier to work with the inside. Of course, you don't have to do that, but there we go. We've got that all open like that now. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to stick something down over here so that I don't see the blue when I take the tag out, because I'm not really comfortable with that. So what I use today, just show you quickly, is I've used this paper, which is an old kit I've had from Calico Collard, called Shabby Grunge Papers, and I'm going to use this actual page from there. And then for the backing, I'm going to use this, which is the same kit, Shabby Grunge Papers, and I love it, and I've never used it, and I just came across it and I thought, oh gosh, that's beautiful, let me use that one. So that's what I'm going to use today. All right, so what I've done is, with the backing page, the one with that's not so floral, I have just cut out a little piece there like that, and I'm going to just stick this to fit in that area here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do there. Just going to stick that right down like that. Okay, I hope you guys are well. I've had the most wonderful comments from everybody about the recipe, the kitchen recipe, Grandma's Kitchen Journal, and that one was for myself, so I might do elements of that and in the form of a tutorial at some point for you guys to follow along with. So I have seen somebody ask, but not at the minute, because I have got quite a few commitments that I do have to honor at this point. Alright, so I will keep you posted on that one. But thank you guys for such wonderful comments and feedback. I do think that that journal would be a wonderful gift to give to a family member, like you know, when you're adding all the family favorites in the form of recipes into it, and then giving it to your daughter or your niece or godchild or somebody special in the family with all the family favorites in there. How amazing would that be? Even as a wedding present, you know, or a mum to bride's gift, special gift. Right, so I've got that bit on there, so I'm happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to stick a little bit at the top there as well. So sticking with the same paper, I've just cut out a piece. I'm not going to worry about that. Now that's going to go at the top there, and I'll show you what we're going to do first of all. Now I have made a fold line for my flap like that, and what I'm going to do is, I know that that's my actual flap line, which is, if I show you on this one, is this line here. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it slightly longer, and I'll show you why. So that's the actual fold line. So I'm going to open this up again, and I'm going to go about 1 centimeter or about 1/3 of an inch. Looking for the knife, here it is, and I'm going to cut just at the envelope fold line. You can make this possibly as long as you want, just like that, and I'm going to just cut that there. All right, like that, and then I'm going to cut that piece right off. All right, so there we go. So that piece we don't need. Now what I'm going to do with this is, I want to make it just, we'll need to see where the fold line is. So just cut from that fold line there just to the top, and then just for precision's sake, I just like to use my bone folder. I'm running my bone folder just on that line because I like to reinforce that edge, even though I'm going to stick paper on the top of it. Seeing the paper is joined on here, I just like to keep that edge strong, because you know this is a wearing edge as they say. Right, so now I've just folded that over and it's doubled the thickness immediately, and I'm quite happy with that. Just make that smooth. Okay, so we've still got our flap covering that section over there like that. Now before I close that up, I want to just put the little backing piece over that section over here. So I think I'll stick it like that. As you can see, it's going below the fold line, so that when you see that, it looks like you've covered the line the whole bit, which you could do if you wanted to. All right, so I'm going to do that, and as you can see, it's just about 1/2 inch below the fold line. So I'm going to just stick how do I want it? Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to stick some glue over here quickly. Like that. Right, so let's get this down. So we just want to line up the corners there. Now if you aren't going to stitch over this, I would encourage you to be you know, a little bit more liberal with the glue and make sure you go close to the edges, but I'm pretty happy with that. And then just so that I know where the fold line is, I'm going to go back to my original line here and just do this just so that it makes it easier for me when I'm folding. And then I can just go like that. And this is one of the best tools ever, guys. If ever there's one thing you buy, get one of those. It did take me a long time to buy one for some reason, but now I wouldn't be anywhere without it. Right, so that's already feeling great there. So we can turn this over. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to I cut this from the bottom of the page, so let me just show you how I've done this. So I measured my envelope, and I love that image there, so I lined it up with my envelope, and I've cut out a piece from there, and then this bit here is the bit from the bottom over there. We will use that for a card and other stuff that we're going to use as well. Alright, so what I've done here is this now will end up going on the front in a minute, but I'll show you what we're going to do. And then this bit here is for the top flap. So again, here's the flap. I have done it longer just so that it goes over and we don't have a raw edge there. So again, it just reinforces that fold line as well. So just depending on whether you're going to stitch or not will depend whether how close to the edge you're going to take this. I try not to go close to the edge if I'm stitching because I don't want my needles all glued up, but that's not a crisis. You can always wipe it if that happens, which I tend to do every day anyway. Alright, so there we've got that all down as well. Okay, so go back to my fold line here and just keep doing that. There we go, and just keep burnishing that there. All right, there we go. Right, all done. So there's the flap done, and now we're going to do this section over here. So what I like to do is I'm just going to take two of my little clips, and you know you've got to love these clips, they're so handy. So I'm going to just put two, one at the top here. So I'm just making sure I line this up correctly. So that must just be a little bit more over. There we go. And then I just want to keep this section straight. Okay, now what I'm going to do is taking a pencil, this is how I do the window. So here's the window here. I'm looking for the line there, and I'm just gauging it as I lift up my pencil where the window is, if the lead comes out, that is. Alright, so then I go further up, I make another line, and I'm doing the same here. So as I'm doing that like that, then this way I'm gauging the window that way, so I know I want it there, and on this side. And now of course you can make it lower if you want. Alright, you don't, if the window's up there, you don't have to have it there. You can make the window small and as narrow as long as it's going to cover the area that you plan on. So that's where I need to cut now. So again, just going to take my, match up my little lines here like that. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so there's the one line, there's the other. So I just want to get those straightened up. That's why I like this board, because it is very helpful in straightening things up like that. Okay, so here's the top line. There's the bottom line there. So I've got that one drawn in, and then I'm going to do the same over here. So from that section up to that section, and then just these over here. So we've got 1 and 2. Okay, so those are the lines I need to cut now. So if you do not have a die cut machine, then don't stress, because this is how you do it. And this is a sure way to make, you know, ensure that you have got it the right size, and no stress about it moving because you've measured. And that's how I do it most of the time. Right, of course you don't need to use a knife. You can just make a hole in the middle here and cut up with your scissors, and then go very carefully along the edge. So don't feel that you have to use a craft knife for this, of course. Right, and that will make a nice card at some point, a little card to stick in somewhere. And there we have a little frame cut out. Now that should go pretty well over the area that we are looking for. So it's coming together perfectly already. Okay, so let's stick this bit down. So again, I'm not going to go too close to the edge, because except this edge, which I'm not stitching around. Okay, so that bit we can just go pretty close to, but the rest of this is just to hold it down in place, and I will stitch around it. Okay, so you want to just line that up with a corner there, the corner there, and the corner there, and the corner there. So let's just get that lined up properly. There we go. And then of course on that side. So that's, I'm pretty happy with that so far. Once I've stitched it, it'll look great. Now I am going to go and stitch that, but before when I come in a minute, what I'm going to do now while it's still open is put on the little circles. All right, so while we're still able to get in there. Right, so let's do that quickly. Now, in order to decide where these need to go, I would suggest that you close the flap, gauge the middle. Let's move this up a bit. Gauge the middle here. So we want to check. Let's just move that there, like that. And now we can see right. I'm just using the board to get the center of this. We want that like that. So I'm happy with that. This is where I need to make a little dot. And once I've got that in place, there, now I can work out where the bottom one needs to go. Now sometimes that needs to go more over the window. All right, so you know, you've just got to have a look and see how it is. With this one, it was shorter, so it just sort of went over slightly, but that does happen. Okay guys, so what you want to do now is grab your crocodile, or however you normally, you could use a little brad and just use a pokey tool and put in something like this, you know, one of these small little brads. All right, so that would work as well. But I'm going to just take my crocodile here, and I'm going to just make a little hole. So that is the center spot for that. Let's put that in there like that, and you want to do the same with your little circle. This is just craft card waste or cereal box card, anything like that. It's a 1-inch circle, and I've just cut them out with my little 1-inch Fiskars punch. All those goodies are on my Amazon tools list, and now I'm just centralizing this to make a hole, and then I'm going to just put one of these little gold eyelets in, so that one's ready to use, and then do the same with the other one. Right, so all right, so we've got that there, and we've got that there, so these are ready to be punched, if I can grip it. Oh, my nails, my daughter needs to do them for me. Right, I'm going to trim them down too long. Right, and now on this little circle, we want to just get this in here like that, and punch that hole like that. And then what you can do is just take your disc with your eyelet, put the eyelet through the hole, and just punch that all together with the other side of the crocodile. Alright, so there's the one. And it's preferable to do this before you stitch it up. It just makes it easier. I have found myself in the situation of having to do it afterwards, and it just makes it all difficult. So I do prefer just to get it all done before I stitch this together. Alright, so we've got those in place now, so that's all ready. And now all I'm going to do now is quickly stitch this together. So I will see you guys back here in a moment. Okay, so I did stitch around the edge there, as you can see, and what I forgot to mention was I did take my rounded circle punch, the larger one, and just rounded the corners of the flap there. So I've done that, and then I stitched across there, and then I closed it, and then I've stitched across there as well. All right, so we've got all of that sorted there. So all we need to do now is very little, just get some of my linen twine out. This was gifted to me by the lovely Gina, and I do use it a lot. I have no idea where she got it from, so I hope it lasts forever. Right, so this is just going to go in there like that. We just tie a little knot there, and then I like to just bring these strings together and make a knot at the end. You don't have to do this. This is just me. You know, you can leave them without knotting them. So I've got a little knot there, and then I'm going to just trim that off so it's the same. And then you're able to close that up like that, wrap it round, and that's going to keep it nice and closed. All right, so that's the little envelope bit there. Now what I'm going to do is I've made a little card. So I've taken the bird part. Let me just show you. I've taken this bit here, and I've cut out a card, so the other side that was left, and I've positioned that so that it'll fit into the window. And then I've taken my little labels, my typewriter labels, and I've put them on a scrap there, and you can see I've done a whole load, and I just love how these look backed onto little bits of background, and then that fits in there, and then perfectly, and without squashing that tab, so it's easily done. And there you can see the little bird peeking out there. Now I'm just going to stick another one of these little labels on. I'm going to say, what do we want? Here's a good one. Flourish. Love that. So I'm going to just take this, And I do like little sentiments throughout the journals and things, just to remind me to stay, you know, to stay on track with my personal growth, or if it's for other people, their personal, you know, their reminders. Sorry, people. Okay, so I've got that on there, and then that's all ready to go. Right, so we've got another one of those. Now, just to show you, I just wanted to show you something that I do with my journal cards. So if you don't want to see that, you're welcome to leave. But just an idea that I thought I would share with you. Now, when I make a journal card, what I like to do is, especially if it's got a piece that's quite subdued like that, what I did was this was a full page, and I've printed these 2 to a page. And if you want to know how to do that, I'll put the link to how to make the most of your digitals, which shows you how to print 2 to a page. And this gives you the option to make journal cards without having to put backing paper on. So what I've done here is I've cut that out, I fold it in half like that, and then I go and take card from packaging. Now, this doesn't have to be card with a creamy background. This is card like from cereal boxes or something where you wouldn't normally use that. And what I do is I sandwich this in between. Alright, so you won't see the card, but it's great because it's nice and sturdy, and it's going to end up in the bin. So save yourself some money and take the tip. And what I do is I put it in the middle of that. Now you've got a really nice sturdy card. You can write on that side. And you can, or that side, whichever side you choose. So all I do there is just take some of my glue stick, and I just put some of that on here. Now I'm using glue stick because I would normally stitch around this, but you don't. You can use a glue that you prefer using, something that's a lot more sturdier. So let's just get that in place before so, but any card that you have that's, you know, you aren't able to use to write on, this is a great idea to use it. Sandwich it in between the pages that I have just used now. And even if you don't want to, before I get happy, I must just, I've got my little tab here. Alright, so I'm going to just mop up that glue on my table and join it together. There we go. And then I'm going to just put some glue on here and here. Find the middle of this, which is here. I tend to stick my tab underneath, but you can do whatever you need to. Can go on the top if you want. Right, so there you have a journal card, and this one is ready to go. You can write on either side. What I will do now is stitch around it. So there I've taken the other piece of paper, so I made 2 from that sheet of paper. That one I've already stitched around it like that, and it's got the same card, and that is sturdy and lovely to write on. Okay guys, so that's what I would recommend as far as using up your cartons. So if you have cereal boxes or any sorts of boxes from foodstuffs, cut up the pages and print your journal pages. The normal journal page like this that we've used today, you could make this into 2 to a page, make them half the size, fold it in half like I've just shown you, and you've got pretty journal cards. Alright, so you would have a smaller version of this and fold it like that, and both sides would be beautiful, and you could still write on here. Okay, so that's my suggestion to you. Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this little exercise, this little project, let's say, that we've made today. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I've made a few of these to go into my journals. So I'm hoping that it encourages you to go and do the same. So go grab the happy mail. Go grab that the mailers, make sure that everybody opens them nicely, and even if they don't, you can still trim them down however you need to, and they do make great pieces of ephemera for your journals. Okay, so go give it a go, and thank you guys so much for watching as always, and for being so amazing and supportive. I look forward to seeing you guys in the very next video. So bye bye everybody, have a lovely week.